Hi folks, my name is mariosz. I'll start by apologising. I'm using an old laptop and up this can get a webcam is fairly high up. Anyway, I've said my name's Mario and I'm a tutor in the electrical engineering department at Bradford College. My specialism is electrical power. Today I'm going to discuss how to reflect as a new practitioner in the educational environment. I've got to say that electrical engineering is one of the most demanding of disciplines, and unfortunately many of the practitioners in engineering use a traditional style of teaching, mainly because that's how they were taught. Engineering in general follows strict rules and nearly all answers are yes, no, or black or white. This carries over to their teaching, where they follow their own rigid experiences, where the tutor plays the active role and the student sits there passively soaking up knowledge, allegedly. Well, so by using self and group reflection, this situation is changing for the better and it's becoming a more student-based learning model that we use. I've got to say that the PSET programme, which many of the tutors have attended and some of us still are, has been instrumental in fostering these changes. Actually, this vlog is a perfect example of critical reflection. I'd spent hours carrying out research and did have a completed product. Following a discussion with my mentor and reflecting on the video log, I came to the conclusion it was too dry and academic and not really passing on information that I wanted the audience to know. If you think this one's bad, you should have seen the first one. Anyway, I think I'll say that when starting a new topic and to help with initial understanding, I always find it useful to start off with a few definitions or quotes. I think the next two slides show four of my favourites for various reasons. I won't read the definitions. I'll just say that I think both of them are quite good definitions, not too academic, and do explain what they're actually talking about. So what I will say is, hopefully you've read these two definitions, is that you see the second definition, it's got the addition of a qualifying word, which is critical reflection. Now usually when you reflect, you would consider learning and teaching. By using critical reflection, you can bring other elements into this process, for example race, gender, class, religion, disability and age. Then my next two, I do like this, reflections fundamental to learning, and it's more purposeful and structured. I will say the last one, and this one I really like, by Karen Hinnett, and she's actually citing Confucius. And I will read this out. So by three methods we learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is the noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Now, the reason why I like this is that this was quoted from Confucius. Now, he came up with that quote over 2,600 years ago. So, for me, the two main reasons for reflection and critical reflection, and they are that we can question our everyday practices and ask questions about what really does and doesn't work, and we can challenge some of our deeper social and cultural thoughts, feelings and reactions, or what Karen Hiller calls our taking for granted assumptions. Personally, and this is my take on what reflection is that I can learn from others, and that does include students and practitioners from other disciplines, and also pass on a good practice to students and fellow colleagues. As it's a two-way process, I can respond usually in a positive manner by learning from the experience and reflection of others, and by reflecting on my own experiences. It's something that I do throughout the year, and not just something I do when I'm preparing or planning for sessions. And I'll be honest, in reality, I'm not going to document and don't document all my reflections. Quite often I can reflect on how good or bad a session went, and so I might be doing that a few times a day. So basically, boiling it down to basics, reflection and critical reflection are ways of assessing our thoughts and actions for the purpose of learning and development. Here I've brought up Gibbs' model of reflection. I'm using it because I found it suited me the best. I've looked at a number of other models. I've looked at Bold, Brookfield, Atkins and Murphy, and then just a few, there's a load of them out there. But for me, I found that Gibbs' model was easy to use and structured in a manner that gave me a clear direction of thought. I'm going to describe my understanding of the stages of the cycle. I will say before I start, that when you first start using this model, it's really easy to cross over into other elements, and I had to be really disciplined and structured to stop my thoughts wandering. Anyway, the first part of the cycle is description. And describe what I observed, what happened during the experience, or chose an episode for reflection, and what part did I and other people play in it. Second is feelings. Describe what I think, feel, and my reactions at the time. Now, was I nervous? Was I happy? So, it is purely feelings and thoughts. Evaluation. This is an important one. You've got to honestly answer this, that what worked well and what was good, what could have been better, what wasn't good about the experience. Now, we'll say these first three elements of this cycle, and in essence, they're all about what happened. The next three elements are about making sense of the experience and how I could do it if the experience happened again. First of all, analysis. Link the experience to similar experiences in order to extend and investigate additional perspectives of that experience. And then I've got conclusion. What else could I have done better or not done? Obviously, when looking back at the experience, what have I learned from this reflection? How has it helped me make future choices and action? And then finally, we've got action plan. And with regards to my understanding, what actions can I take with others and myself who are part of that experience? What might I do different, and how am I going to adapt to a new situation? Now, on the next slide, who benefits from it? Well, basically all of us, but basically the shooter, because it enables me to view events objectively and transfer what I do well to other similar situations. It helps to identify what we can make changes to and help to plan for the future. I can learn from the experience of others, and it can show the difference between what I actually say and what I think or what I actually do. From my colleagues, we've got better levels of shared professional expertise in curriculum planning, understanding policies and educational context will be increased, and levels of support and communication will be increased. And we've got benefits for the learners. Well, first of all, by reflection, I get a better understanding of their needs and requirements. They should benefit from a more personalised approach to teaching that accommodates their own unique skills and attributes. And also, there'll be an ongoing improvement in the quality of the delivery and assessment that they receive. Now, on the next slide, what are the benefits as well? Well, it improves teaching practice. If I've spent the time to reflect on my teaching and reflect how different parts of what worked well, also where elements of my teaching can be improved and how problems can be solved, it's got to help me improve my teaching. I can learn from reflective practice. I must say, I read a number of articles from the web, basically, that says in essence that reflective practice helps deep learning, or helps deep learning to take place. As a tutor, it can help me make connections between different elements of teaching and areas that sit on the periphery of teaching. And making decisions. If I've got a number of choices to make, I have to weigh them up and decide which one I can take, and that can be quite difficult. By regularly reflecting on my teaching, it can help me be more informed, and would say as well, now, these are fairly common questions that you see from various research papers, etc., and then boiled down to four. Now, I'll give you a couple of some examples. Now, what happened? Well, first of all, what took place? What do my colleagues think took place? What do my students think happened? What do I need to improve or change? And what worked well or didn't work well? Then we've got, why did it happen? What were the factors that contributed to the problem or success? Because it's not always negative. What assumptions and underlying beliefs and motives were involved from me, my learners and my colleagues? And what external factors had any effect? What was the room, the resources, a number of things. What can be done? What are the possible ways of improving? How could I use some of my success factors in teaching? How do my colleagues think I could use some of my success factors? How do you think my students could use some of the success factors? Are there any way forwards? And basically what can be done. What parts of the changes are most straightforward or least straightforward? Some are easy to implement, some aren't. And finally, what can be done? What action will I take? What impact will I have on me? Or what impact do I believe will have on me? on my learners and colleagues. And finally, quite important, is when will that action take place? So thank you very much indeed. Bye.